Welcome back to the Nuzlocke, the original Pokemon challenge where for every video I beat one Pokemon game with my wacky rule set. If you want to learn more, this video up here is a short couple-minute video explaining the rule set. Trust me, you're gonna want to hear it. And this video here is part 1 where I take on Pokemon Yellow. Once you've done that, make sure to subscribe as these videos take a lot of time and effort to make, and I'm trying my absolute hardest to make it to 10,000 subscribers before 2024. I really appreciate each and every person's support, but without any delay, let's get right into Pokemon Blue, Leg 2 of the Nuzlocke. Also, join my Discord, link in description. It'll be fun, I promise. After blasting through the useless early game nobody wants to watch, you're welcome, I dropped my starter Mitch into the box as we have a full team of 6 survivors from our last part that we got to bring into the new generation. Let's take a quick peek at the Pokemon who are going to help us achieve this monumental task. Say hello to Light Jr., Slicer X Jr., Booba Jr., Booger Jr., Messy Jr., and of course, who could forget the Ball Jr., who I absolutely forgot to give the Junior title to, and it's gonna be a while before we hit Lavender Town, so deal with it. I don't want to harp too much in the early game, and by that I mean the first 4 badges or so, because you've seen it all last leg, and I want to try and keep these episodes interesting, and if I'm going to be playing the same game over and over, but honestly I just wanted to show off some of the early game battles since it felt like such a brand new experience. I mean, how many people get to use Grimer in Viridian Forest before fighting Brock? Anyway, after going through the team's first training session in the woods, and a couple funny moments with me talking to chat. Wow, no Pika Pika. It's fun. God, bro, it's fun because it's hard. It's fun because it's hard. Shut up. Just shut up. I'm sorry you played Giga Easy mode as a kid. I'm sorry that as a kid, your mommy and daddy sat you down and said, son, we're not allowed to let you play anything. It doesn't have bright colors and shapes and an auto win feature. And when you go bowling, we put the bumpers up in this family. And when you drive, you put on your seatbelt. And when you ride a motorcycle, you wear a helmet. Listen, I'm sorry you were sheltered, okay? I'm sorry. Why does Grimer look so nasty in this game? Why does he look like an actual booger? We went straight to Brock, right after Slicer X Jr. had a scratch-off competition with the Camper's Diglett. After Brock tried to intimidate us with his muscles, I sent out Messy Jr., who thankfully knew Absorb and easily took out Geodude. Onix was up next, and I didn't even want to risk losing a Pokemon this early on, especially when I had a full team of 6 to pivot around on. So I sent out Booba Jr. to put Onix to sleep. I then switched back out to Messy and hit an Absorb, and I was shocked to find out Brock actually has full heals in this gym. But it didn't matter because one more Absorb took him out. Now we went on to Mount Moon, and I didn't think I would get any worthwhile footage here as it's always the same. You know, you get your TMs, your rare candies, your Moonstones, and Fossil of Choice, and tail out. And I honestly had my guard down, and that was a huge mistake. It was going smoothly at first, using my diverse team to take down the trainers, and then I encountered it. This random ass Team Rocket Grunts Raticate. I saw Light's attacks didn't do too much, so I thought, oh, no matter, I'll just switch out and take it down with the bulkier Mon. So I switched to the Ball Jr. thinking the win was as sure as ours. But no, Raticate knew Hyper Fang, and my Geodude couldn't keep up, as Hyper Fang is a crazy move to have early on top of Raticate being way higher leveled than us. I heal up and switch to Slicer X to see what he can do, and he was doing better, but it was the same shit, different Pokemon. I switched out to Messy and almost get one shot. Running out of options, I panic and switch out to Booger Jr., who I remembered had decent bulk. Now, I don't know what I was doing here. It was part of me panicking, and partially my friend Rico Nico was on the call distracting me with his mischievous antics, and partially me having a skill issue, but after switching out and getting critted to under half health, I for some reason thought Grimer would outspeed and practically handed Booger Jr.'s life away to the enemy Rocket Grunt.
Like, I got to, like, look at the camera.
I look at the camera?
Yes.
Hold on. No! I lost someone. Well, I can't look right now. I'm sorry.
God damn it. You should have seen, you could have been seeing my Coca-Cola bear hat.
No way! Oh, that was way too close. I'm like crying and dying.
I don't give a fart. Guess what? I don't give a poop and I don't give a fart.
Bro. I then made a risky play and sent out my main man, Light Jr., who takes a Hyper Fang and ends the battle for our fallen friend. 6 went into Mount Moon with me, and 5 left. I was angry at myself. I always lose Pokemon to stupid mistakes, not playing carefully enough. But part of me was mad at the game. A level 16 Raticate with Hyper Fang fresh out the gym, and I lost a Pokemon to that. After how hard I had worked last episode to build that team, I had to get revenge. I had to avenge Booger Jr. Gen 1 move pools may have made him useless early on, but he would have been an integral condition to our run with access to moves like Double Team, Toxic, and Sludge. I had to instill confidence back into me and my team members. I had to avenge Booger. I just had to. So I went on a gym spree. I headed straight over to Nugget Bridge and was stopped by my rival. After trading hits between Light and Pidgeotto, I switch out and KO with Slicer X. Booba easily handled Abra, and then put Rattata to sleep for the ball to take care of. And after a long time of chipping away with Messi and Light, we took down our rival, Evolve Booba Jr., hoping to raise her spirits a bit after losing her closest teammate, and then we destroyed Nugget Bridge, and went for Misty next. We easily took down Staryu with Light, and then sent out Booba for Starmie. After putting it to sleep, we switched to Messi and started spamming Absorb. Starmie wakes up, we paralyze it with a Stun Spore, and continue spamming. After a final Absorb, we take the victory and make our way to Surge. On the way, we evolve Messi Jr. into a Gloom, teach him Cut, and evolve the ball into a Graveler, who I accidentally sped up the cutscene for, and did the most skillful, knowledgeable testing puzzle in Pokemon history. This is really frying my brain. Oh boy. Wow. Yep, and I accidentally clicked it again. This is... Ooh, it's really giving me a run for my money right now. There we go. In Red and Blue, Lieutenant Surge actually has more than one Pokemon, so we tank some Sonic Booms and Booba takes down Voltorb with her Mega Punch. Pikachu comes out and we one-shot her with another Mega Punch. And switch to Messi for the big boss himself. We poison Raichu while it boosted speed, and we whittle it down through Poison and Absorb while it can't do any meaningful damage back in retaliation. Good fight, GG. We were 3 badges in, but I wasn't slowing down. Not even for a minute. I was still angry about Booger, and I planned to keep this pace up and to KO every single gym leader in a single sitting. I made my way to Celadon, stopping on the way to finally correct the ball's name and to beat up my rival again in Pokemon Tower. I made one last stop at the Celadon department store and evolved Light, and then I evolved Messi to his final form. I'd stocked up on some very crucial double team TMs and went to fight Erica. I started setting up double teams, but Victory Bell was giving me a run for my money. It wrapped Booba, put her to sleep, and began doing massive damage with Razor Leaf. So I switched to Messi and decided to just spam Cut until it goes down. Tangela comes out, and I use this as a good opportunity to set up double teams with Light. After finally taking out Tangela, Vileplume comes out. But with my evasion so high and paralysis halting Erica in her tracks, we easily secured our 4th badge. Now, I wanted to just go straight to Koga and continue my conquest, but after 3 badges of Seething and Malding, I realized I needed to deal with my problems in a bit more of a healthy manner. So what did I do? You guessed it, I marched straight into Team Rocket headquarters, told Giovanni what one of his employees did, to which he said, understandable, and we fought. My rage for Booger didn't just end at gym leaders. I needed to take this problem out at the source. Giovanni's Onix fell to the ball with his new move Dig. His Rhyhorn met a similar fate to Slicer X's Bubble Beam, and his Kangaskhan fell due to the combined efforts of Light and the ball. Then I grabbed the Silphscope, slayed a demon, and went back to training on my quest for vengeance. Luckily, there were a lot of bikers to unleash my pocket beasts on, so we ended up evolving Slicer X into a Kabutops and the ball into a Golem. Then we faced Koga, who actually has a competent team now, and he sends out Grimer. And thanks to Slicer X's beefed up stats, we easily take down his Coughing and his Muck with Ice Beam and a bunch of slashes. Another Coughing comes out and gets washed away by Slicer X, and we switch to the Ball Jr. for Koga's Ace Wheezing. And to be honest, I got nothing to say here, so I'll just let the clip speak for itself. No way. No way. Oh my god, that was so scary. What? That's the gym fight? That's crazy. Alright, next badge. Easy dub. I was feeling a little dissatisfied after that last gym fight though. We had cleared through his other Pokemon and we didn't even get a chance to defeat his ace ourselves. So, in our search for more blood to spill, I wandered into Sambozo's dojo and destroyed all his disciples, and then the master himself. He said he would let me pick any Pokemon I wanted, but I wasn't interested in making friends at the moment as I was busy trying to conquer the Kanto region over a Grimer. So I went to the 6th and arguably hardest gym leader, Sabrina. Although I didn't have a strong plan going in, I was careful not to enter the fight overconfident, as that's what almost led to our defeat last episode. But I did go in determined, because I wasn't over the time she killed my Hypno and Nidoqueen. Rest in peace, Seamoon and Mr. Cosby. My plan was, although Slicer X has a poor special stat, if I could set up just a couple double teams, I could take advantage of Kabutops' huge attack stat and Psychic-type Pokemon's low defense stats. So I started spamming double team turn 1, but I got unlucky, and even though Kadabra was significantly lower level, it did over half our health with the Psychic. Now, normally this would have panicked me and I would have pivoted to another Pokemon to tank a Psychic and retaliate, but not this time. I was still on my demon time over what happened back in Mount Moon, so instead I hit back with a Surf. It didn't do as much damage as I had hoped, and Slicer X was hit with another Psychic, barely surviving. I switched to the Ball Jr., who eats a Psychic, and planned to destroy this Kadabra with an Earthquake. But in my anger, I failed to pay closer attention to Golem's HP stat, and he couldn't handle being hit with another Psychic. I was just about to throw out another Pokemon and continue the battle, but I stopped myself and I realized something. I had found myself in the same situation, even after learning my lesson of overconfidence back in Pokemon Yellow. So why was I still losing to Sabrina? Was it that Psychic types were OP? My team just wasn't good enough? No, there was another lesson to be learned. One about my anger and my rashness. I had lost my Grimer in a stupid way that I didn't consider to be my fault, and decided to make it my quest not only to beat the game, but to destroy every gym leader as fast as possible. But why? To make myself feel better? I had won countless battles since losing Booger Jr. and took down multiple gym leaders, but I was still just as upset as before, and now I was paying the price. Or rather, my Pokemon were. Rest in peace the Ball Jr. Was I really going to lose the run because I was being too hasty? Because I couldn't let go? I took a breath and assessed the situation. The Ball Jr. was dead, and Slicer X was not in a position to fight. Booba definitely didn't have the stats to stand up to Kadabra, and Messi was weak to Psychic types. It was up to Light Jr. to carry us to victory, just like last time. After successful paralysis, he took it out with a Thunderbolt, and Sabrina sent out Mr. Mime. Now that I'd calmed down a bit, I stopped myself again and assessed the situation. I didn't have any guide up telling me her team, but I knew Mr. Mime is a notorious support Pokemon, and although these older games have worse AI and team building, there is a good chance Mr. Mime wasn't here to sweep my team. So I used this opportunity to set up a Thunder Wave and some double teams. After setting up an absurd amount of evasion, I started Thunderbolting away, easily taking out Mr. Mime and Venomoth. And there we were, face to face with Alakazam once again. Except this time, we were already set up. However, I didn't think Light could even take a single hit this time, so tensions were high. Thunder Wave comes out and Paralysis sticks, giving us a free Thunderbolt. Then, we get a critical hit. Man, the parallels are getting wild. Alakazam uses Psybeam and misses, allowing us to finish the battle with a final Thunderbolt. We did it. I put the Ball Jr. in the box and looked at my team. The team of 7 that had so eagerly entered Viridian Forest, ready for anything. Now only 5 of us remained. But I had learned a valuable lesson. I had let anger and feelings of revenge get the best of me, and it may have made us progress faster, but now at the cost of another team member. It clouded my judgment, but now I was free. I still felt upset about losing Booger, and now the ball, but I understand now that the best thing we can do is rebuild and push forward, without overconfidence nor anger clouding our choices. Without much else to do, after taking a well-deserved break with my surviving members who made it this far, we went to take on Blaine for our 7th badge. We took down Blaine's grunts with little to no issue and made our way right to the main room. He sends out Growlithe, so we use Booba to put it to sleep and set up a couple double teams. Then we start using Strength to mow through his Growlithe, Ponyta, and his Rapidash. In fact, the battle was heating up so much that all the smoke detectors in my house went off simultaneously. Take a look. Hey. You good? You okay? Oh my god. Anyway, Arcanine is up next and Slicer X comes out, and 2 surfs later, the battle is won. Now we were at the end of the game, and although my team before was strong, we were definitely going to need some backup if we wanted a smooth sailing to Pokemon Red. So I fished up a Poliwag by Pallet Town, threw it in daycare, took it out, and evolved it with a rare candy as to not use it as an encounter. Why did I do this, you may ask? Well, back in Cerulean City, there's a trainer who will actually give you a Jinx for a Poliwhirl. So I made the trade and added Lola the Jinx to our team. Welcome to the team, Lola. I've never actually God damn it. Sweetie! Come here! I've never actually used a Jinx in a run before, so I was really excited to try her out, especially with Ice and Psychic being, in my opinion, the most creative type combination of Generation 1. We then made our way to the dojo and added Lil Spizzle the Hitmonchan to the team. After a final grinding session and situating everyone's move pools, we were back to a team of 6 and ready for the last portion of our journey. It was time for our rematch with Giovanni. But this time, I wasn't angry anymore. I went in with a calm and collected attitude, and to be honest, I wished him the best of luck, because there was no way in hell this guy was going to beat my team. Messi Jr. takes initiative and one-shots both Rhyhorn and Dugtrio with a Solar Beam. Nidoking and Nidoqueen are both taken out with a single Surf, and Giovanni is already down to his ace. And with a final Surf, Rhydon falls and we collect our final badge. My team and I then journeyed through Victory Road, facing many trainers along the way, and then we sold all our belongings to the Pokemon League for more full restores. I then fixed some of my Pokemon's movesets to better suit them, as you'll see here, and decided my team had reached its final form. And so we set our sights to the final challenge of the leg, the Elite Four. We had lost friends along the way, but they had taught us valuable insights to our path to victory against these 37 games. No cockiness, no anger, just some good old-fashioned Pokemon battles. Totally without dozens of my hours and time and sanity on the line. Anyway, on to Lorelei. Just like last time, Light had an easy time with the majority of Lorelei's Pokemon. He'd one-shot Dugong, Cloyster, and Slowbro, each with a Thunderbolt. Jinx comes out and I send out Little Spizzle in response. You may think this was a 2-head move, but add 3 and you'd be correct, because I knew Lorelei's Jinx had no Psychic-type moves. So I hit her with a Fire Punch, doing way less damage than I thought I would. But now that I think about it, Fire Punch is a special move in Gen 1, and Jinx hits back with an Ice Punch, doing a big chunk of Little Spizzle's health and actually freezing him solid. So, maybe subtract 2 and that would be a more accurate rating of my play, but we still break even, so, W anyway. Lola comes out and starts getting slapped around by the enemy Jinx, and it's an all-out cat fight, but luckily above all else, I taught my Pokemon one thing: morality. I'm not using that move. I'm not using that move. This is not gonna be that type of video. Ladies, have some respect. Where is your modesty? So I attack with a Psychic and the enemy Jinx uses Thrash. Lola finished off with a Body Slam and Lapras is up last, and Light takes her out with a couple Thunderbolts. Bruno is up next and we send out Kabutops against Onix, who gets one shot by Surf. Hitmonchan is up next and I switch out to Light, and since Hitmonchan wasn't dealing too much damage, we started setting up with Thunder Wave and double teams. After some sufficient evasion was built, we one-shot Hitmonchan with a Thunderbolt. Next is Messi Jr. versus Hitmonlee, and we're about to find out who has the better footwork. Hitmonlee uses Mega Kick, but Vileplume BMs and poisons Hitmonlee. Bruno uses an X-Defend, giving us the perfect opening to Mega Drain, healing us back up in the process. Hitmonlee blunders with a Focus Energy, and we sucked him dry in retaliation. Pause. Bruno sends out his long, rock, hard snake, and we suck. Okay, I'm not reading this. What happens next? Messi Toxics Machamp, we just X-Defense like an idiot, and we set up Solar Beam. Bruno decides to use another X-Defend, and we finish off the battle just like that. Agatha's up next, and I was super worried for these next two battles, because the ball's typing alone hard counters Agatha's entire team and almost all of Lance's. But he was gone, so we had to come up with a new plan. Lola takes down Gengar with a Psychic and Golbat with an Ice Punch. Haunter and Arbok are also taken out by a Psychic, and her Ace Gengar comes out, and it only managed to get a single Nightshade to hit us before we took it out with more Psychics. Huh, that was, surprisingly easy. Lola sweep, let's go! Without any delay, we ran straight into Lance's room to hopefully carry some of the momentum over from our last battle. Gyarados goes down to a single Thunderbolt, but Dragonair shows us with a Hyper Beam that it won't be so easily defeated. We switch to Lola, taking advantage of Dragonair's recharge, and finish it off with an Ice Punch. Lance's next Dragonair also gets one shot with Ice Punch. Aerodactyl uses Hyper Beam and almost takes out Lola, but she holds on and one-shots with an Ice Punch. Lola has been a huge MVP for these Elite Four battles, but she's low and we need to switch out for Lance's Dragonite, which really sucks because Lola could definitely one-shot it. So we send out Lil Spizzle and start spamming Ice Punch while Dragonite spams Agility, and we beat the final Elite Four member. I swear, it is insane how many times this run alone people's ace Pokemon have just really sucked. Gen 1, am I right? Here we were, back at it again. This wasn't the first time we faced our rival in this room, and it definitely wasn't going to be the last either. Lola uses Ice Punch on Pidgeot, bringing it to a sliver. Pidgeot retaliates with Wing Attack, but we brush it off and finish Pidgeot off with a final blow. Alakazam comes out, and I now discover Lick, despite being a Ghost-type move, has no effect on Alakazam. I, of course, forgot that this was a glitch in the game's code, yet another reason why Psychic was incredibly overpowered. His Psybeam does little damage, but so does our Body Slam. We trade a couple more hits, and Lola stands victorious. Rhydon's up next, and Slicer X comes out, one-shotting Rhydon with a Surf. Gyarados falls to a single Thunderbolt, and Arcanine to a couple Surfs. It's down to one Pokemon. Except this time, it isn't a Vaporeon, but a Venusaur. Now, this was actually very troubling, as we did not have much coverage for grass types. In fact, the one counter we did have, being Lola, was not in good condition. This meant we were in for a tough final battle, but it was 6 against 1, and I still had my healing item, so I thought of a strategy and pushed forward. We send out Light to paralyze Venusaur, and we quickly learn my rival's Venusaur can do some pretty hefty damage, so it's not safe to use double team strats. And with Light putting out such low damage output, and this happening, we had to find a new solution, fast. This thing had offense, defense, and healing moves. This mon was no joke. So we switch out to Messi to tank the Solar Beam, and we start having the annoying confrontation of chipping each other down. It was looking like we were going to win the damage trade, but we started missing our attacks, and to make matters worse, Venusaur was setting up growths, making his healing moves as well as his attacking moves even more powerful. And to make things even worse, my rival used a full restore, so now we were up against a full health, unparalyzed, juiced up Venusaur with Solar Beam, Mega Drain. I decide my best option isn't to stay into Messi, as it could keep setting up growths, and once Messi goes down, everyone else would as well. There was nobody though who I could reliably switch to, but I needed to do something, so since Little Spizzle knew Fire and Ice Punch, I switched to him, hoping he could clutch up the battle. Okay, that was really dumb. I don't know why I did that. I really don't know why I did that. Well, I know why. Okay, it's actually a really bad situation I'm in. We had lost Little Spizzle, a team member who we had introduced just minutes ago. I wanted to get angry and try and analyze whose fault it was or why I was in the situation, but I didn't. I couldn't afford to. All I could do now was look at the pieces I had on the board and make my next move. And after realizing my options were stretched thin, I made a decision I was not so proud nor happy to make. Okay, here's the plan. Might have to sack Booba. Using a one item, full restore, Lola. Now, we can put it to, so it's either we're sacking Booba, or we can put it to sleep. It's one of the two. Okay. Good. Booba chose life. We had managed to put Venusaur to sleep. First try, saving Booba's life. Ready to put my plan into action, I switched Booba carefully out to Lola. Venusaur stays asleep, and we hit him with a Psychic, dealing only about a sixth of his health. We follow up with an Ice Punch that does even more damage, and then hit Venusaur again with another Psychic, bringing it down to a sliver, but waking it up. But we outspeed and hit Venusaur with a final Psychic, winning us the battle in the second leg of the journey. As I sat in the Hall of Fame thinking about my victory, I thought about two things. I thought firstly about how lucky I was to make it this far into the run, and how thankful I was for my team. Even the ones that didn't make it. And I was especially thankful for the ones that did. Light, Slicer X, Booba, Messi, and now Lola. Each a Pokemon who I had grown closer with and was now able to bring to our last stretch across Gen 1. Pokemon Red. And the second thing I thought about was how ugly these sprites were compared to Pokemon Yellow. I mean, look at the difference here. What were they thinking? Yeah, before you click off the video, I've made a decision for the run going forward. Although I do understand Gen 1 are pretty easy games for the most part, and the difficulty of the run is supposed to increase over time due to the scarcity of Pokemon, I've decided to up the stakes. Now, if you've seen my video explaining the rule set of the Spizzle Lock, you'll know that a Spizzle Lock is valid on set or switch mode, because I wanted to give people an opportunity to choose their difficulty a bit for this journey. So, to up the stakes a bit, as well as to make it a bit more fun to watch, starting after Pokemon Red, once we enter Generation 2 and set foot into the Johto region, we will now be permanently playing on set mode. I hope you guys are as excited as I am to see that take effect. Anyway, the video is over now. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, enjoy my Discord. I'll see you next time. Bye!